Hello, I'm Dr. Annadale, and I teach philosophy at Mount St. Mary's University and Seminary in Emmitsburg, Maryland. And I want to talk today about a common error that many beginning students of philosophy make, and that is the error of assuming that philosophy is arbitrary. That is, that there is no standard of judgment in philosophy beyond individual preference, and therefore one philosophy is as good as any other. You can just take your pick. I think in essence that many students come to the study of philosophy implicitly accepting Nietzsche's view that philosophy is simply an expression of one's personality, that philosophy either fits you like a suit of clothes or fails to fit you, and there's nothing more to be said about the truth of the matter. Now, I think this is an intellectually lazy view of philosophy, and I think it's also empirically false. That is to say, it's a false description of what philosophy is and the way philosophy works, even in terms of one's own point of view. One doesn't simply feel like an idealist. If you are an idealist, you have reasons for being attracted to idealism. You may not be able to articulate them, but that's part of the job of philosophy. So I think philosophy is not standardless, and I'll argue today that philosophy has at least three standards that it should meet, that are objective: two standards of reason and one standard of experience. The first rational standard that any philosophy, any philosophical theory or system should meet is the standard of internal consistency. That is to say, a philosophy should not contradict itself. Any philosophy that does contradict itself has some serious points against it in our consideration. We're justified in rejecting it on that grounds alone. For a quick example of this, take a look at Socrates' refutation of Meletus in Plato's Apology, where Meletus claims, first, that Socrates is an atheist and believes in no gods, and then a few minutes later claims that Socrates believes in some kind of mysterious new divinities or gods. Socrates quite rightly says, "Meletus, you've contradicted yourself here in front of the jury, and no reasonable person will take you seriously anymore." Notice the penalty for failing the test of internal consistency is that reasonable people now disregard your opinions. They don't take them seriously in deciding their own opinions. The second standard of reason is that of proper inferences. That is to say, any philosophy that is presented to us that is more complex than just a single claim should be drawing conclusions out of premises in a logically correct way. A general guide is that our conclusions should not go beyond what can be justified by the evidence that we offer in favor of them. So no philosophy should make huge leaps in logic from one idea to the next without being able to carefully explain the justification. The third standard is the standard of experience, and here this would be an appeal to the common experience of mankind. We are all human, and philosophy is a human pursuit, and therefore our philosophy should find its assumptions and starting points in common human experience, and it should in some way end up in human experience as well. It should be satisfactory in practice. It should satisfy the longings of the human heart or the drives in the human intellect that push us towards asking philosophical questions in the first place. It should have no holes, or as few holes as possible, in terms of its ability to account for our experience of the world. What I think is missing in many students' initial encounter with philosophy is an idea of judgment. That is to say, an idea of judgments that go beyond mere opinion. Judgments, unlike opinions, are well-reasoned and informed. They are defensible without appeal to mere preference. Anybody can have an opinion about anything, but only some opinions can be backed up with reasons and justifications. If we can articulate our opinions, our judgments, with the justifications, then the business of philosophy is to debate the quality of the justification, in part by using the three standards I've just articulated. That's what philosophy is, and it's not arbitrary. A final thought. What I've been doing the past couple of minutes is, in fact, philosophy. I've presented you with an definition of arbitrary, and I've cited some facts about philosophy that lead me to the conclusion that the category arbitrary doesn't apply to it. Philosophy is non-arbitrary, I say. I've given you my justification. I invite you to evaluate it, and you may go away from this video thinking, I used to think that philosophy was arbitrary, and now I realize, having listened to Annadale, that it's not, and I have reasons. I can explain why I think it's not to other people. Well, congratulations, you've just done some philosophy. That's my comment for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.